is up? Today we are going over my no foundation routine. So probably for the past, 2-3 weeks, I have not been wearing foundation. My skin's been popping. I know a lot of that has to do with, first of all, the Ole Henriksen Glow Toner. Y'all know I've been loving that. And my eating has been so clean. When I'm telling you clean, I'm talking basically like we're paleo at this point. So just meat and veggies. No sugars, no crazy carbs, strictly water, all that jazz. So I think the combination of those two things have really transformed my skin to where now I'm kind of like, okay, cool. I don't need to wear foundation right now, especially since we are gearing up to the warmer months. I live in the South, y'all. It gets hot here, and once it gets a certain temperature, once the humidity gets to a certain point, I don't touch liquids just simply because I'm sweating, everything's dripping. It's just a hot, gross mess. So this is my updated no foundation routine. I did this a while ago, but I was like, you know what? Let's revamp it. Let's do it again. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, so the number one thing I want to go ahead and mention about this look, if you are someone who loves a full coverage look, only does a full coverage look, this look will not be for you. This is a legit no foundation. So no liquid foundation, no powder foundation. So if you are someone who just feels more comfortable with the full coverage look, you're not gonna get anything out of this. However, if you're someone like me who is just a oily, hot, slippery, sweaty mess in the summertime and you need a less is more on your face, or if you're someone who just wants something that's very basic, very minimal, very simple, and you're good with some of your imperfections shining through, this look is for you. So my face is already moisturized and ready to go. I've got my eye cream on. I do not use primer. If you're new to my channel, I feel like as far as like oil controlling primers, they do not work for me. If you need to use a primer, go ahead, throw your primer on your face. So we are going to go on in with our first product, and that is concealer. So I'm using one of my favorites. This is the Becca Aqua Luminous Concealer in the shade Dark Golden. This is the perfect consistency. This is the concealer that everybody needs. I don't care. I'm in the process of buying this for my client kit. That's how much I love it. So no matter what your skin tone is, no matter how old you are, this is one of those products that's going to work across the board. Super lightweight. It's going to give you coverage, but it's not going to give you like a full cake coverage, and it's very light on the under eye. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with this under my eye because as you can see, your girl, she's tired, okay? I am tired. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on, and I'm gonna blend it out with a cosmetic sponge here. It is dry. Also, I don't use beauty blenders. I prefer to use a wedge just for sanitation reasons. Again, you do what works for you. Something that I want to mention also that's gonna be super crucial for this look, do not use a concealer that is, let me pull you in a little bit. Do not use a concealer that is full coverage. So something like the Urban Decay All Nighter or the MAC Pro Longwear. Since we're not putting on any foundation on our face, if you just go in with the full coverage concealer like that, you're gonna look really strange. You're gonna have super full coverage under eyes, and then the rest of your face is gonna look blank. You're gonna look like you forgot a few steps. So that is something you don't want to do. So make sure whatever concealer that you're going to use, it's okay if it does have coverage to it, but you don't want anything that's super crazy pigmented. Otherwise, you might look a little crazy. That is one of my favorite things about the Becca Aqua Luminous, that it gives you coverage, but it's very skin-like. Also, don't go too light. If you're someone who does like to have a little bit of a highlighted under eye area, again, you don't want to go too light because you're going to have that same effect. It's going to be super bright up under the eyes, and then the rest of the face is just going to look a little blank. All right, now for the next part, if you just have any little areas that you feel like might need a little concealer on it, you can do it. If you guys are familiar with me, you've seen me do my concealer where I'll just put the concealer under my eyes, and just if I have any dark spots, like let's say here, we'll just hit those up. And again, if you are going to do any spot concealing, make sure make sure that you are using a concealer that is going to be close to your skin tone. Otherwise, you are going to look bizarre. So nothing, again, that's super highlighted, that's too light or too crazy coverage. And also make sure you're pressing it into the skin. Don't swipe it, just make sure you press it. When you like kind of stipple or tap it on, that's how you get the fuller coverage. Okay, now I'm just gonna flip over on another side and we're just gonna start working on the outside to make sure it's nice and blended. Next up here, taking the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark. I have stopped using my Kat Von D Lock-It Brightening Powder, not because it's bad, but because I'm about 100% is discontinued and I just don't like using things on camera that I love and they're discontinued. MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. Okay, so if you are someone who does have dry under eyes and you want to set your concealer, I highly recommend this because it's lightweight. It'll add a touch more coverage to you and it doesn't feel heavy or make your under eye creasy. I feel like sometimes, because y'all know I'm heavy-handed with powder, if I'm using a loose powder or like a Sasha Buttercup, anything, I feel like sometimes I can just get a little too heavy-handed and I end up looking like a dried up cactus up under my eyes. And you know, that's just not the look we're going for. And this brush is the best setting brush for up under the eyes. It distributes the perfect amount of product up under there and it just makes for blending super, super easy. And of course, if you feel like if you have any creasing, I just kind of press it and pull up just a little bit. So that way to make sure nothing is settling in my creases. All right, now we're gonna go in with some powder. So this is going to be a translucent powder. I mentioned this one in my All About Powders video. This is the All Nighter, Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder. I use this as a finishing powder when I have my foundation on. I said make sure you have a light hand because if you do get too heavy with it, it will kind of flash back on you. All powders will flash back on you if you use too much. So I just want to put that out there. So I'm going to use this because I am oily. So I just sweep this all over my face to help cut down on the oil. Now this isn't going to give you any coverage. It doesn't have any color to it whatsoever. However, if you are someone who is oily, this is just to help to secure the bag, to make sure that the oil is going to stay at bay. And I'm just kind of swirling this on all over my face. And as you can see, it just took down any shine that I had. And it is going to make you matte. Now, if you are someone who does not like the matte look, you're not gonna like this. Because once it gets warmer, obviously, us oily girls, we gotta control everything. We gotta make sure everything is good. And that is the cool thing about matte powders, even if it is just like a translucent with no pigmentation to it, no true color or tone, when you put it on, it can still kind of make you look like you have coverage. All right, so now that the skin is looking all nice and even, that's it. We're done with that. So now the most important part, since we are not wearing foundation, is going to be our bronzer and our blush, just simply because when you put those on, it kind of hides the illusion that you don't have on any foundation. So today I want to use the Morphe Brontour because I've been digging this recently, and I'm going to use my Morphe brush, the powder brush M527 that I use for bronzer, which I don't recommend only because it sheds. However, I do love the way that it applies to product. So we're going to use this to warm up the face. Rocket's saying hello. And as you know, I get heavy-handed with my bronzer. I like to look bronze, I like to look warm, I like to add dimension to the face. This is just my preference. This is what I like. And if you don't like that, totally fine. Of course, take it, use it how you want to, go lighter if you want to go in with a lighter hand. I got inspired to use the brontour after my little trial and error with the Fenty bronzers. After using the Fenty bronzer, it made me realize, you know what? Maybe this one ain't so red after all. I go through phases with it. I think it's just simply because now we're not like in the dead winter and I have been outside a little bit more. It's been warmer. So now, you know, starting to get a little bit more sun on the face. And then I'm going to go down the side of my nose. Alrighty. Now, for blush, you already know my favorite, Mellow Wine. And now, when I start putting on like the bronzer and the blush, you can see that things are starting to come together for us. And then of course, because we are so matte, I do want to throw on some Laura Glow powder here. And then if I feel like I get a little too heavy-handed, which I always do, so I'm just gonna give myself a little spray. And this is the Mario Badescu facial spray. All right, I am back. My eyes are super simple, just matte shadow, 2 shadows, nothing innovative. But last but not least, the most important part of this look, I think, lipstick using my favorite summertime shade, Urban Decay Vice Lipstick in 100 Degrees. It's not available in Sephora, Ulta, only on Urban Decay's website. I think the shade is stunning. I ordered another one because I love it. I wore this out all summer long, last summer. And this is a cream. It will transfer, it will slip on you. It is not matte, so just want to put that out there. And something else I like to do for the summer, especially like if you're like me and you like to wear tank tops a lot and your shoulders are out, highlight them bad boys. So I'm just gonna take my Laura Mercier Glow. If you wanna use a little bit more of a popping highlighter, you can. And you probably won't be able to see it that great because it is getting dark outside. I don't really have too much natural light anymore, but it just gives a little extra va-va-voom on you. So I will put it here on my shoulders and on the collarbones. And I kind of get aggressive with it. I know. This is the only time you will see me go crazy with highlight. And if I'm really feeling it, like really feeling it, I'll get my Becca chocolate geode from my makeup kit. And I'll go in with this because this is definitely a little bit more potent than Laura. All right, guys, that is going to finish up my no foundation makeup routine. I hope you enjoyed it. Down below, let me know your thoughts. Are you someone who is like me and you just kind of stay away from liquid foundation in general in the summertime? Do you still go for a full coverage? Do you like a BB cream? Tell me what you like to do because I'm always curious. You guys know the deal. Keep it simple and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.